welcome to a special episode of the Essays and Espresso podcast. This time we're going to be focusing on E3 predominantly. Joining me are my co-hosts, the venerable shitlords, that is Acer and Boken. How are you?
I'm not good. A shitlord.
Wait, I'm not a shitlord.
Fucking you're both shitlords.
You're the
it's
shitlord.
Because
you're literally sitting on your thrones of shit.
Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. I was once venerated as a YouTube prodigy, and now I had to hear that.
Did one of your comments say that?
Who called you a YouTube prodigy? Where did this come from?
I know I'm doing the meme. Like there's a meme from Konosuba or something from the manga where he says, "I, who was once called a child prodigy, am now homeless. Very well."
Oh yeah. I think I remember seeing you post that. I've been meaning to watch that show. It looks pretty funny.
It got so much funnier. I thought the first episode was so. We're not talking about Konosuba this day, Daniel.
Just can't stop. Okay. Just have to get our opinions out there.
Well, yes, we have to talk about the E3s. So we're going to go in order, I guess. So what did you guys think of the Microsoft E3?
Bland.
Can we just give this a little bit more structure and say E3 2019 is just over, and now we're going to start about the conferences.
This is the Saturday of the 15th. I don't know when this video comes out.
I feel like we shouldn't just always jump into these discussions.
I feel like Daniel has really mishandled his hosting duties.
Yes, I want Acer to host.
Oh, is that? Are you sure? Are you sure about
No,
that?
I don't. No. I'm gonna edit that out.
What?
Hey, I tried to smooth you guys into hey, let's talk about Microsoft, and then you're like, ugh, what the fuck, Daniel? Blah blah blah.
You didn't so much smooth me in as just thrown me into the water, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey man, it's either sink or swim, and right now you're sinking, and it's not my fault.
You know, the Wikipedia on this E3 has a typo on it. It says, due to the lack of Sony's presence, the show drew about 3,000 less attendees from E3 2018, for a total attendance of 66,100. 600,000 people did not attend E3.
Why not?
There's an extra zero there.
Wait, what? No. You mean there's only 600 people there?
No, I'm saying there were probably, there wasn't 600,000 people in attendance.
I heard 6,000.
Oh. No, maybe 66,000.
No, he said 600,000. Oh, okay. What Acer is saying is that there was probably 60,000 at most, not 500,000 people.
But then California is pretty big.
It is pretty big, but at the same time, 500,000 people at one conference seems a bit ludicrous. Anyways, so since you guys are fumbling here, I'll go ahead and talk about what I liked about the Microsoft conference, which was Tales of Arise. So, of course, being the fucking weeb that I am, I am super hyped for Tales of Arise. I know you two could not give less of a shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm excited. Tales of Arise looks great. This is the shot in the arm that this series has needed for a long time. Do you understand? Do you motherfuckers understand that we've had 4 games for the past 8 years that have been using the same fucking engine? The same engine for the past 8 fucking years?
Oh my god.
You know how sick I was of seeing the same assets for the past 4 games? And those were games I liked for the most part, except for one of them, which is really bad. But those were games I liked for the most part. And even then, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, stop. I'm tired of seeing the same tree monster. I'm tired of seeing these same fucking wolves you've copied and pasted for the past 4 fucking games. Ugh. So I'm so glad that they move on to the Unreal 4 engine. It looks so good. It has this kind of almost watercolor-ish look to it, which is really cool because that's what all the concept art has been for the series for the longest time now, which is actually pretty incredible. Watercolor art is like really difficult, and the concept art for a lot of the characters always looks gorgeous because it's in this really like perfectly, like the person who does it is like a master at it, and like it looks phenomenal. And the fact that they're not quite the same, obviously, but the fact that they're trying to like emulate the watercolor aesthetic of that concept art with this new game, I think is pretty neat. And just the fact that like we finally have new assets, we finally have a new engine, we have like the game looks like it's trying to improve the combat and all that has me very excited. So what excited you guys about this?
I guess
the
I'm
Microsoft
happy
Game
for you.
Pass. Oh my god.
Okay, you two just like jump
Yeah.
all over each other. Okay, Boken, you first.
Why Boken first?
I was just gonna say that I'm happy for you, but people
thank
give
you.
so few shits that Tales of Arise isn't even on my list here.
I know that you don't care about Tales of Arise.
Are you sure this
But,
got
like, I just
announced
meant-
at the Microsoft conference?
Yeah, I got announced at the.
Then my
Microsoft
list is incomplete. I remember the game, I just don't remember when they showed it. But I also, yeah, exactly, because the games I got most excited about on the Microsoft conference were those little indie games that aren't on this list that I'm looking at either, which is, what's it called, 15 Minutes? The one where there's like one room and the guy tries to convince his girlfriend that he's stuck in a time loop?
12 minutes.
12 minutes, yeah, whatever. That looked cool. I mean, it's questionable how much gameplay that was, but the concept is great, and the atmosphere was solid, I would say.
My thing with the Microsoft conference is that, and this is a problem that they've had for the past several years, is that they'll have a good conference and they'll show a lot of cool stuff, but none of it makes me go, wow, I want an Xbox now.
No, it's
Because I can get all that stuff elsewhere. I can get it on PC. I can get it on PS4. I can get it on Switch or whatever.
Yeah, that is Microsoft's problem. That's why I guess they're bringing the Game Pass to PC now.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, what is even the point of the Xbox console anymore at this
I
point?
mean, they just got, last year they got a bunch of studios that are now exclusively developing for them, but even those games you can get on a PC.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't really get what they're doing.
I think Microsoft is just moving away from being they don't focus on the console anymore. They have Windows, which is still largely successful, so they can try to do like a hybrid system. A hybrid marketing system where the Xbox is there for the people who need them, and then they also have the PC infrastructure.
I just don't understand anyone that would go, I'd rather get an Xbox rather than a PlayStation 4.
I mean, me neither.
I can't help you.
No.
What?
There's the extremely strong Xbox, whatever the fuck.
I find it's amazing that anyone bought an Xbox One after this just horrible first showing of that console. Oh, look, it's the Xbox spyware. It's gonna spy on you, and you have to have it online all the time. Like, why anybody bought that console initially? Like, the fact that they managed to sell that is astonishing to me.
Yeah, I know. Like, but even, like, let's say that wasn't even a factor. I still don't see the point in buying it because, again, all of the games on it, I could think of only, like, a handful that are, like, actually exclusive to the Xbox One.
And even then,
Like, I think that-
how good are they?
Well, not all the
I think
people have strong gaming PCs.
Yeah, then buy a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, then get a PS4. You can get virtually almost every game available on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 exclusives like Bloodborne,
Well, look,
God of War,
that has been
and Spider-Man.
true so far, but now they're trying to actually get development teams exclusive to them, which means can I
like Ninja
get
Theory.
Outer Worlds on a PlayStation 4? Can I get fucking
Yes,
whatever, Bleeding Edge?
I think Sony made a contract with Obsidian before Microsoft bought them. Yes, you're gonna get it on PS4.
Okay. Well then, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. what other development teams did they get? They got Double Fine now.
Yeah, Double Fine.
Who gives a fuck?
Wait,
Double
really?
Fine?
Double Fine?
Yeah, but Double Fine hasn't made a good game since like Psychonauts 1.
Yes.
So Psychonauts 2
I
doesn't
bet
look
they were
bad,
real
though.
cheap.
I've never played Psychonauts.
You would probably not like it. You don't appreciate deep art. You probably don't. You wouldn't understand the subtleties of it.
Excusez-moi, sir. Pardonnez-moi. Come again?
It's a bit too heady for a person like you. You like the visceral action stuff. You like a show about a girl, and she's maybe 5 years old.
What?
And she says "chotto mate" a lot. That's you.
What fucking show is that?
It's like a subgenre of anime. It's just like little girls doing stuff. There's a show where they're all angels, and one of the girls is Satan, and she's always being made a fool of. I only know it through
Gabriel Dropout.
Gabriel Dropout. I know it through like memes, and then I watched one video of it where it was like, she's gonna get naked, and then God is gonna send beams of light to censor her, and I was like, nope, clicking this, I am not interested.
But if those beams of light weren't there, then you'd be very interested.
No, obviously not.
No, you would be buying the Blu-rays.
Did Microsoft reveal that one game where you'd play like two deer who are running through some kind of post-apocalyptic world?
With a light on their heads. I think so.
Yeah. That was, like, those were the small games that usually get me, because I don't give a fuck about Gears of War. Don't give a fuck about Halo.
Oh my god, do you hate women? The new Gears of War stars a woman. You must hate women.
Oh, that fucking trailer was so bad. That weird music video that didn't... The Halo video didn't tell me shit about the game. The Gears video didn't tell me shit about the game.
The Halo video, it looked last gen. Like, that is not selling me on the next generation of Xbox. Last of Us on a PS3 looked infinitely better than that. Like, what are you talking about? You're trying to sell me an Xbox 4? Yeah.
What are they gonna call the next Xbox? Xbox 2?
But like the problem with Halo is, even if those graphics were impressive, do we have any proof that that is what the game will actually look like? Or is this just a cutscene that of course is going to look better than the actual game? And then even if it does look like that, who gives a fuck? What do I care about graphics? That shit doesn't wow me anymore.
Halo and Gears, those are both sort of franchises which are almost defined by their central mechanic, which is like first-person shooting and third-person shooting. And outside of maybe being refined versions of that, they don't have any power. Like, there's no steam after that.
There's no ideas there.
Yeah. Like, say what you want about Sony and their massive lineup of third-person semi-stealth games. You sneak around in tall grass. At least people are doing something new.
Speaking of something new and not so new, Elden Ring was announced at Microsoft, and I'm excited, but I'm also conflicted because it looks like they're just doing Dark Souls again.
Yes.
Which on one hand, I'm not mad about, because like I'm a fucking slut for that stuff. Like, I love Dark Souls, and if you're just gonna give me Dark Souls 4 but call it something else, I'm not gonna be really angry about that. But I'm mixed about it simply because Hidetaka Miyazaki was all about, like, we're gonna try and do stuff that isn't Souls. I want to bring back the history of From Software, where we just made weird, wacky, out there games. And
but you're just saying
he seems to be like backpedaling from that. It's just like hey guys, here's Dark Souls again. But George R. Martin.
You're just saying that because it seems tonally kind of different, kind of samey. But again, that trailer didn't show you shit about the game.
Daniel,
That is
we've
true.
actually talked about Elden Ring before. When I think it was the first or second time we did one of these podcasts together. May have been the last E3 video we did, because Miyazaki said that he wants to do another Dark Fantasy game which plays differently from Dark Souls. And I think Elden Ring is going to be that.
See, I thought originally he was referring to Sekiro, but I guess you might be right. Because I always thought that he said that, because he did say that, oh, we're going to make one game that's like similar to what you expect from us, but then we're going to do some other stuff that's different. And I thought, oh, that's Sekiro, but maybe it's actually this game.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it pointless to even try to understand when all they show is like a bunch of animated images, nothing more. That's like trying to imagine what Elder Scrolls 6 will look like based on that one JPEG they showed.
But I think there is some things to discern. I will say at least one thing, that the proportions of the characters in Elden Ring looks more cartoony compared to Dark Souls. Like just the way that the hands looked and kind of like the animations, it looked a little bit more like I don't know how to explain it, but like everything in Dark Souls is like, in terms of like the proportions, is very grounded and like, you know,
Gritty.
kind of realistic. I mean, granted, obviously you have like some wacky elements, but like the general like art style is pretty grounded. While with Elden Ring, I did notice that it wasn't quite that. So I am kind of curious as to the direction of this game. So hopefully it doesn't just play like Dark Souls 4, and it'll be something different. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it does seem to me like, generally speaking, this is Dark Souls 4. But we'll see. Okay, so I think we'll move on to the Bethesda conference. I don't think there's anything else to say about Microsoft.
There's a lot more to say about Microsoft.
Well, there's Cyberpunk, for one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about
Keanu Reeves
Cyberpunk,
showed up.
what else is there to say about Cyberpunk other than, oh, they put Keanu Reeves in it?
I think our conversation, we did a video on the last E3 together, or podcast.
That people did not like for some reason.
Yeah, and I made I cut out a video of the Cyberpunk discussion and I uploaded it, and people were furious that
I don't understand why.
Our basic, we kind of just talked about it a bit, and our what's the word I'm looking for here? Our conclusion was, yeah, it looks fine. I'm interested in it. Hopefully it'll be good. Like that was
it.
And that's like heresy.
It was such a tame take, right? The only thing I can think of is that people sniffed out that we weren't like super all in, and we weren't like 100% like, yeah, this is gonna be the shit, like, and that was enough for people to go like, fuck you guys.
Keanu Reeves is so wholesome though. He's such a calming presence.
That was nice, yeah. But then I was kind of pissed that they didn't show more gameplay, that it was just another CGI trailer. Like, why do that? You've already shown what the game plays like.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
That was probably my main takeaway from this E3, is just way too many CGI trailers.
My big takeaway was that I never need to hear another game studio or publisher tell me, it's all about you, the player. We love bringing you content.
Next year we should play. We should record ourselves playing like a drinking game with all the buzz phrases that these people use.
I don't want any of us to die of alcohol poisoning. Okay.
I don't drink anymore, so I couldn't.
God.
Actually, there was one more thing I want to talk about from Microsoft before we move on, and that's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So, I was pretty excited for this game going into it. Having seen gameplay, though, I'm still like, okay, I'll give this game a shot. But I was expecting something better because this is the director of God of War 3. And I wasn't necessarily expecting that gameplay copied and pasted. But I was expecting something more visceral. The thing that bothered me the most based on the gameplay was the main character's movement. It just seemed, I don't know, floaty, I guess. I don't know. There's something off about the way he moved.
It seems kind of slow, yeah.
What did you think about Forrest Whitaker's shitty eye? He has a lazy eye in real life. But in that trailer, he had a really lazy eye. They amped it up in... Oh my god. I dare you to watch that.
It's the power of computers.
And he shot like a grappling hook. And he moved so slowly.
My problem with Fallen Order is that I'm kind of... Okay, I'll play it anyway. But then I learned that this is not even a linear game. This is one of those, you can backtrack to all the planets where you were. This is not an open world game, but it's like Dark Souls where you can go back to that area and then maybe with that ability you can unlock this and then you can get a bunch of XP upgrades. And I'm like, why? Why can't I just have one linear game? Just one. Just give me one story-heavy linear game where the characters are defined from start to finish, where events happen because they propel the story forward. Why are we losing this? I don't understand. This is...
Why can't it be Devil May Cry?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why the fuck not? Give me Devil May Cry.
Or, God of War 3, like the director worked on already.
Like, why are we always sacrificing the narrative to the open world structure or to giving the player choices? It's
like, because I feel like open world games, the potential for good storytelling is really squandered because they're not being taken. It's not being taken advantage of in the correct way. But like, I feel like for this type of game that has a more like focused narrative, having this type of design, I think is counterintuitive.
You would hope.
Like, I feel like
you would hope it's a structured narrative, but now I'm not sure anymore.
Because with the like when I look at Metroid Prime, for example, that game actually makes really great use of its narrative, where like a lot of it is environmental storytelling. It's scanning the environment and then like getting details and stuff like that is when the open world and the storytelling comes together in a really unique way.
The open world is not just a block on content. Just like, you just need to move through to get, like with the new Bethesda Studios games so often. Morrowind was really good in that regard.
Again, this is not going to be an open world game, but just the fact that you can switch from planet to planet, and then that makes me nervous that not all players will hit all story beats at the same time, so they kind of have to design their game around that fact, and then there are probably like side quests that you can miss or not miss that might enhance the story or they might not. Like, just the structure is good. I feel like games are losing structure now, the big games anyway. And as someone who's continuously watching more and more movies where you just go from start to finish, and I can really understand why the scenes are happening in which order. Games are losing me now with that shit, and it's kind of annoying. And then because I always come back to the linear games that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I think that there's just this weird stigma about linear games, quote unquote, like as if they're inherently a bad thing, and this never made sense to me. And this was something that started cropping up, especially in the previous generation, where there was just this perception that open world games are where it's at, and that linear games are inherently inferior, and it's just baffling to me. And I mean, on one hand, I get that, like, yeah, open world has its own positives. It has its own, like, unique design elements and ways to tell stories and blah, 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 all that shit.
Sure. Can be totally great. It can be wonderful.
Yeah, but at the same time, linear games have their own benefits. Like, and I don't like this idea that like we should just throw away linear games. Fuck those. Like, no.
I think this is just. I think this really came about because console players didn't really get a good sense for what open world games could do until the last generation. But they had been getting linear games for such a long time. I think we're just in a correction period right now. I definitely don't think this is going to last. But we need to address the elephant in the room here, guys. I feel like we've all sort of been skirting around this. The fact that the game is written by my good friend, Chris. I call him Chris. You call him maybe Chris Avalone. I just call him Chris.
Now that you're, buddy with him.
By him? Is he working on more projects?
He's working on a lot of stuff.
He's working on Dying Light.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of concerned because I'm like, wait a minute, he's working on this. He's working on Bloodlines 2.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Dying Light, like, dude, like, are you okay? Do you really have that much creative juice in you to just like be pumping out all these stories? Like, damn.
I'll ask him.
They're just consulting him. He's just sitting on a throne somewhere, and then people come in and go, "Oh, please tell us where to take our story."
You can ask him about it when he does the podcast. Hot Spice, everyone listening. I got him to do the podcast, but you guys can't call him Chris. You have to call him Mr. Avalon.
Mr. Avalon.
Only I may call him Chris.
Mr. Avalon, sir.
In this here part of Planescape Torment, what did this mean? I'll ask him what the deal was with the skull. Remember, I didn't see the note.
All right, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Bethesda now. So, not for too long though. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about aside from Ikumi Nakamura, who is a precious treasure that we must protect. She was absolutely adorable. She was just like really passionate and just talking about her new game that's spooky. And it's actually a pretty cool looking game. It's called Ghostwire. And
No, it was a cool looking trailer. Please.
Yeah, okay, if we're being technical. It's a cool looking trailer. We don't know if the game itself will look
I want to make sure we say that. This is important to be.
But, I mean, the concept seems cool, and I think it's going to be... hopefully, it's going to be a cool game. It at least has some interesting ideas behind it based on the trailer.
Mm.
That looked cool. Deathloop looked cool. Where I wasn't sure if the male character was Luke Cage. He looked so much like Luke Cage. It drove me nuts. But I don't think it was him. But yeah, those were so. Like...
Do you mean the actor?
Yeah, I don't know the actor's name. But it was like this male character versus the female character, and they both go like, we have to kill each other for some reason. To end some kind of cycle. And that looked cool.
Why can't I remember Luke Cage's, the actor's name?
Why would you remember it?
He's not like a super big actor.
You keep talking, I'm gonna search it. Keep talking! What is this dead spot?
No,
people are gonna turn off.
His name is Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter.
So you could have told me any other name and I would also agree.
His name was Morgan
This is
Freeman.
like, oh yeah.
Or they could have been like, it was Lawrence Fishburne, and you're talking to Samuel L. Jackson.
I feel like
Have
if that was actually the Luke Cage guy, this would be mentioned here in this little blurb that I'm reading. So I'm going to assume it's not him.
Mm.
So aside from that, the only other thing from Bethesda that I was like, ooh, was Doom Eternal.
Not Wolfenstein?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't think New Order was that good.
Okay.
Oh
I am leaving this podcast
so
right now.
Here's my main issue. So the game is supposed to come like tonally. Wolfenstein comes across to me at least in terms of the gameplay, not so much the narrative. And I hated the narrative. I thought it was shit. But the tone of the gameplay seems to be a power fantasy. You're supposed to go out guns a-blazing, but then you're really squishy, and you can die very, very easily, and I could never reconcile with that throughout the game. Even when I beat it, I was just like, I didn't have as much fun as I felt like I should have been having. Like, I felt like I should have been able to just, like, jump out, dual-wielding shotguns, which is a ridiculous idea, which is awesome, and just, like, go out, like, bang, bang, just, like, going nuts. And you can't really do that, because if you do that, you just die. So that was my biggest problem with New Order. I just felt like there was this disconnect between some of the mechanics and how your health
People
was
keep
handled.
complaining that the Wolfenstein games are too hard, and I just don't agree. Like, I specifically never went stealth, and I specifically went just completely mobile. Like, I was basically playing Doom, but with a Wolfenstein skin. And for me, it worked.
Well, I was playing the PS4 version on a controller. Maybe if I was playing on PC, it would have been better. I don't know.
I do play on PC.
I don't know.
But, like, I'm not sure if if it's just supposed to be power fantasy, because the Nazis are supposed to be threatening. There are a lot of scenes where the Nazis are incredibly cunning and are about to kill all your friends.
Yeah, which brings me to... Well, okay. I don't want this to turn into just, like, a criticism of Wolfenstein.
I think I agree with you that Wolfenstein, especially New Colossus, is totally a motherfucking mess.
Yes, it is a mess.
But that's what makes it so... That what made it better to me, for some reason. Because I love the gameplay. Like the dual shotgun run gun shit, that worked really well for me. But then it's such a mess, but there are so many great moments in there and genuine pieces of, like, fantastic writing. When you meet Hitler in New Colossus.
See, I didn't play New Colossus.
That is the way they portray Hitler is so smart and funny. There's genuine writing talent there, and I heard, like, I was pretty lukewarm on the concept of Youngblood, because I read that they are scaling back the story and just focusing more on the gameplay and the co-op shit. But now I've heard some reviewers talk about the tone of the game, and it seems to follow that thing where the Nazis are threatening, but at the same time the characters are complete goofballs. And, like, you're basically on a road trip killing Nazis, and then the girls aren't really taking it seriously, and that all sounded fantastic to me. That's exactly what you don't get that kind of tone anywhere else, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the writing, at least in New Order, I haven't played New Colossus, really bugged me. Like, because on one hand, it felt like the game wanted me to take it, like, really super seriously, but then it also had, like, a lot of ridiculous elements that, and I was just like, like, even in the early game, right? Like, so BJ is half alive, half dead, comatose, whatever, and he's like that for years and years and years. And that woman, Anya, that's her name, right?
Yes.
That takes care of him. So he's like that for several years. And yet when he finally wakes up, he's still buff. That makes no sense.
Come on. Who gives a fuck?
No, but,
dude,
like,
you get in a fucking...
saying,
the first level you play is him shooting up Nazis in a fucking wheelchair.
Well, that's in New Colossus. And like I said, I haven't played that. But I'm just saying, like, this is part of...
Okay.
This is part of the thing that I'm talking about, where, like, this game is... Where Wolfenstein is like, yeah, please take us seriously. Oh, wait, there's also all this shit that's, like, really anime and over the top and nonsensical. Like... And it's hard for me to reconcile with that.
But they know that it is that. And, like, for example, the wheelchair level is so emblematic of that character conflict in BJ, where he's so effective at killing Nazis. He's a fucking unstoppable machine, but he's, like, mentally completely broken. And that is, like, you can't really move, but at the same time you're still killing everything in sight. It's such a, I don't know, they play with that contrast.
I think
all
they
the time.
try to. I think they tried to.
I understand why it wouldn't work for people, but I love it.
Is it possible you only love it because it's a German name, the game, Wolfenstein?
Actually, I played it on the original audio, where you can listen to all the German soldiers. I think that made it better than the English version, because the voice acting in German is actually really good.
Huh. I'm just talking about the name of the game, though.
What does Wolfenstein even mean?
Basically means Wolfstone.
Wolfstone.
But
okay.
Wolfen is not really a word. That's more like an area. If you named an area something, it would be, it's Wolfenstein Castle, right? That's more a place.
Okay.
Wolf is wolf, and Stein is stone.
Well, anyways, so I was trying to talk about Doom Eternal, which I think looks awesome. So I really liked Doom 2016. I thought that game was awesome. So Doom Eternal looks like that, but bigger, and I'm totally cool with that. So this game looks awesome.
Except you think it should have been called Eternal Doom. Remember we had that.
I think that would have been a cooler name, but you know, fucking whatever. As long as the game is good.
It's going to be hard to come up with a better title when we're done with the Eternal Doom. Like, where do you go from there? They never really think that shit through. Like when Microsoft revealed the Xbox One X, and they said, hey, this is the most powerful console on the planet. And now they're coming out with the next most powerful console on the planet. Maybe you should have thought ahead 5 years.
And also, maybe you should have made your games better. Like the gradient scale of good games to powerful consoles, there is no correlation there. As hardware gets better.
But yeah, Doom looks good. Wolfenstein is hopefully going to be good. After listening to people talking about it, it seems like it's still the gameplay that I love, and the tone is also there. So,
all right. Is there anything else to talk about from Bethesda?
Yes, Todd Howard. He apologized profusely for Fallout 76.
No, he didn't. He didn't apologize once. He made like one comment, and people were, "Oh, Todd."
Oh,
you
Todd.
fucking hack.
Oh, you.
I'm just gonna clap for every fucking game that you show. Every shitty mobile game.
Oh, God, that audience.
I love it so much. Inject it into my veins. That crowd was
They need
shit.
to get... Bethesda Studios needs to get a new guy to make their games. Because I don't think Todd Howard has a vision. The way he talks about games, it doesn't seem to me like why is the Elder Scrolls open world, and like what's the point of that? Oh, it's because it's about freedom and we want the player to express themselves. Okay, but what about these numerous design decisions that run completely counter to that? Like, oh yeah, let's just have voice acting in our games. Excuse me, what? Why? I don't think he has a vision, guys.
Wait, what does voice acting have to do with anything?
You can't express yourself if you have voice acting, because now you need to record so many more lines, which cost so much more money. It gets harder to put in more dialogue options.
Do you mean for your own character or for the other characters?
For both.
I mean, to be fair,
mostly...
look, you're talking about a game, The Last Elder Scrolls came out in 2011, where the open world craze just started. Games have gotten bigger. Elder Scrolls is not the only open world game around now. And I don't think the voice acting is really a problem now, is it?
No, I don't think so. And I don't agree with like, oh, you can't express yourself if you hear the voices of other characters. I can understand if you meant your own
When I
character.
said that, I was obviously talking about the main character, but I also think the other characters voice acted is a problem, because I just feel like, and this is a personal take, I'll cop that, but I always like it better when you had just like these Wikia articles, which they would just pop up on screen, and you could just sort of click any word and sort of get a better explanation about all of that. I thought it was a cleaner way to present it.
That's what Obsidian still does in their RPGs.
Oh my god, Obsidian should make the Bethesda games. That was an original opinion of mine, guys.
But yeah, I mean, look, Skyrim had that problem where you had so few voice actors that the same voice actor was talking to himself. Oblivion had that problem even more.
Did you hear the one in Oblivion where the chick went, "Oh, you better not go into those mountains." Wait, let me try that again. The voice actress wanted to try the take again,
and
really? That's in the game.
Oh my god. How embarrassing.
She didn't say something about mountains.
Like they left that in there?
Yeah.
I can see how that would happen, maybe.
I don't remember exactly what she said. Well, it wasn't about mountains, but there was a part where she went, "Wait, I want to try that again."
That's funny. Okay.
What is this, Sonic 06?
That's your...
That was a thing.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
I see. I understand. That's a very funny joke.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't think there was anything else in Bethesda.
All right, so what about Ubisoft? Because I'm looking at my notes. I literally don't have anything written down for Ubisoft.
There was nothing. Nothing.
Wasn't PC ahead of Ubisoft? Wait, we're actually going to talk about Ubisoft. I have an issue with what they've been doing. We'll get to that.
Go ahead, because I think you're the only one that
I
has anything to say.
No. Do we want to talk about... Before we do, wasn't the PC gaming show ahead of Ubisoft?
Yes, but that show was so underwhelming. I don't remember a single game from there, except the Shark game.
Well,
I didn't even watch it.
We have Vampire, the Chris Avellone game. We have Shenmue, and we have Baldur's Gate 3.
No, look, they didn't show shit about Baldur's Gate 3. They just didn't show... I already knew the trailer. What the fuck else did I learn?
They revealed the trailer, 2 weeks ago? Why wasn't this the Baldur's Gate 3 reveal?
Yeah.
Why wasn't this the Baldur's Gate 3 reveal? Again, why wasn't this the Baldur's Gate 3 reveal? That would have been a real good way to end the PC gaming show, I imagine.
Yes, it would.
Alright. Vampire, The Masquerade 2, Chris Avellone.
Baldur's Gate 4.
Yeah.
I never played the first one, and I know that's a sin. I would probably love it.
I haven't either. What I have played is Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, which came out before Bloodlines. The one that no one has heard of, has played, or cares about.
And how was that?
But I liked it at the time. And when I say at the time, I was 12. So don't take 12-year-old Daniel's opinion seriously. I don't trust him, and neither should you.
I saw the gameplay of Vampires 2, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play it. Looks like a Vampires game, I guess.
I want to play the first Bloodlines, but my biggest hang-up is that apparently that game was basically released broken, and apparently there are patches that can fix it, but I don't want to spend the half an hour it takes to make the game function first before
surely
I can actually play it.
There's just a conversion mod which fixes all of it,
yeah.
like a restoration
Also, you
mod,
didn't care about that when we talked about Coda too.
That's a very, very simple fix. All you have to do is buy it on Steam. You go to the Steam workshop, you press a button, and you're done.
Yeah. Maybe is that not how it is for Vampire the Masquerade?
To be honest, I'm not sure. So maybe it is actually very simple, but I haven't cared enough to actually bother.
You know what I think is funny? With all these streaming services cropping up, you can never get away with releasing a broken game again because the modders aren't going to be there to fix it for you.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Also, you can't put KOTOR 2 or Vampire on these streaming services because they're broken. And you can't put the modded version in the game because then you're taking somebody's unpaid labor and putting it into the game.
Surely game developers wouldn't do that.
I'll have you know this is a very ethical industry we work in.
There is something that can be done about that. So Ys Othin Fogana was originally fan translated for the PC, and then Xseed actually approached the fan translators and said, "Hey, you have a good translation here. We'll pay you so we can use that translation as a base, so that we can save time." And that's what they did. So they didn't just copied and pasted it. They did their own tweaks to it so that it wasn't like word for word the exact same translation. But they did just come up to them and be like, "Hey, we'd like to save some time. You did a good job. Here's some money so we could use it." And, I don't think it'd be unreasonable for a similar situation to occur here.
No, stranger things have happened.
They could also just use the code and not tell them, and they could just be like, when people say, "Hey, you just stole the code from them," and they'd be like, "Prove it." And since you can't access the game's code because it's streaming...
Yeah, like, modders won't even have access to the game, will they?
Nope.
This opens up a very questionable moral quandary.
I don't understand how anyone... the people who are able to stream games are mostly people with, like, the high-end PCs, the people with good internet connections, the people who don't want to stream games. And this is going to bring us to Ubisoft. They announced another goddamn streaming service.
Oh, God.
Microsoft had one. EA had one. Who was it? We were talking about earlier. Bethesda. They had one. They introduced something for this shit. And Ubisoft, when they announced it, it was like going through the motion. They had the most monotone woman in the world talking about it. It's like, oh my god, another goddamn streaming service. Come on. And they also announced 2 new phrases into the English lexicon. First was pre-register. Is that a real thing? Don't you just register?
I've never.
Or is that a register for the register?
That.
And also was pre-alpha. It's the pre-alpha testing, guys. You mean the alpha testing?
No, it's the pre-alpha.
That doesn't sound weird to me.
Pre-alpha.
But
that sounds weird to me.
Pre-alpha should just be, I don't know.
Yeah, we have a couple of scripts and we have some bean models.
You could just give that another later. Greek letter.
There's no Greek letter ahead of alpha.
I know. Just use one. What the fuck? The Greek word for zero. I don't care.
It's epsilon. I don't think the Greeks had zero. I think zero was created by the Arabians. But I might be wrong.
Whatever.
We're going to talk about Watch Dogs. That's what I really wanted to get into.
Before we get to Watch Dogs, that's a big topic.
Okay.
I'm looking through this list. I remember getting really pissed off. For Roller Champions, for example, where they were like, "Oh, let's show this CGI trailer," and I was like, "Oh, that looks good, but how about some gameplay, you motherfuckers?" And then I brought someone on stage who talked about the game a bit, and then went, "Okay, let's show you guys some gameplay." And then the gameplay trailer they showed was just a bunch of moments from the game cut together in a way where it didn't even remotely look like that's actually what the game will look like when you play it. So it's basically another CGI trailer.
Hey, Papogan, did you like when they went on stage talking about The Division and they revealed Ubisoft will make the Division movie with Netflix? Who the fuck gives a shit about Netflix, first of all? And also, the Division movie? Who gives a shit?
Yeah. They keep doing it. They did that Assassin's Creed movie. They did Prince of Persia. I guess those make money?
Was it Square Enix or was it Ubisoft who had the guy from It's Always Sunny on?
I think
it was Ubisoft. Yeah. Again, what do you... People do not watch these E3 showings because they're interested in television.
Like, I didn't get that mad about it. I was like, okay, that's an accessory to the brand, so sure, why not? Why not give me something else that's gaming related?
And they partnered with the Google Stadia. Uplay Plus is going to be on the Google Stadia. This is so
Oh yeah, where you can pay for Google Stadia, which is useless, to access Uplay Plus, which is also useless. I can't wait to throw all my money in the ether.
It's like 2 degrees of shit.
It's so funny about these streaming services. These companies, they want you to pay 10 or 15 bucks a month to access all of their games. But they don't have 10 or 15 bucks worth of games. You can just go online, buy the entire good games from their library from like $8, and then you just own all of them.
No. Uplay
Also,
Plus.
stop using the Tom Clancy name. My God, he must be spinning in his grave. They bought it when they bought was it Red Storm from him? They bought the Tom Clancy name outright, and it just, come on. The original Tom Clancy games were like simulator games almost. Now, I don't know. Do you want to talk
A
about
bunch
Watch
of shit
Dogs?
that no one gave a shit about. And then Watch Dogs, which I have to say was one of my favorite trailers of E3. But
Was it because of the old woman?
It was because of everything, but the problem is it looked too good. I do not believe this game will work out the way they advertised.
Oh my
I think
God!
conceptually-
Are you saying that a Watch Dogs game will not launch as marketed? Those are bold. That's a bold accusation, Bogan.
Come on, like they people seem to like Watch Dogs 2, and are they really going to do the same shit again, where they bring out a really downgraded version of what they originally showed, and people are going to get so mad?
No. I think they will delay long enough for it to actually play.
But even you can delay for 10 years. The game looks conceptually unfeasible to me. You can't have this many voiced protagonists who keep referencing that other protagonists died, and the story still has to make sense, and you can recruit everyone from the street and they all are individual personalities. And no, I don't believe you. I cannot believe you. This seems like such a foul marketing to me. And people got so excited. And no. This can't happen. I don't think it can happen.
Yeah, I see where I agree with you. It seems too much work for something that it seems like a neat idea, but like what would that actually even add to the game anyways? Like it just seems like something to show and be like, hey, this is going to be really cool, and then they'll quietly release the game without actually having that feature.
Yeah. The old lady was
what's
cool.
Yeah, that was the only thing I liked about that trailer. I think that if you're an authoritarian, fascist surveillance state, maybe improve your systems so people can't hack into them. Maybe don't give people phones. Maybe you don't let them have that, since they keep using it to hack your systems. Did you guys ever read V for Vendetta?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I did.
That's such a fucking good book.
Anyways, I think we've given Ubisoft more attention than they really deserve. Let's move on to...
That is true.
Let's move on to Square Enix. Good old Squeenix.
Squeenix.
And they finally showed us what the Final Fantasy VII Remake looks like in motion.
Daniel, why do you dislike Tifa? You said her new design was shit. What's wrong?
No, I like her design. I think it's very good.
But people got mad for some reason.
I don't get it. Like, some people complain that she's not showing enough skin, like the original design, and...
Oh, you mean that boxy...
polygonal...
You mean that boxy, polygonal mess from the PlayStation 1?
That sexy little chibi 3D model. I don't know. I think she looks really cute. I like her design.
If you don't like the design, just wait for someone to mod it in.
Yeah, with the eventual PC version. Because they probably will.
I can tell you there are a lot of Street Fighter mods where the girls are given bigger breasts and butts, and it doesn't look good.
Wait, is it coming on PC? I only see PS4 announced here.
It's a timed exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So, a lot of people are saying that the gameplay looks like Kingdom Hearts, which I think is kind of ridiculous. I don't think it looks anything like Kingdom Hearts. I think people are just saying, well, Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG. Final Fantasy VII is going to be an action RPG. Obviously, it's going to be the same gameplay, but mechanically speaking, they look very different. So, I don't know. So the main thrust of the gameplay seems to be that you're going to be building up a meter with your regular attacks, and when the meter is filled and you have a charge, you can then use that charge to either like use an item or you can use an ability. So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't make the combat feel tedious. I don't know, because I don't want the combat to feel like I just want to build up this meter so I can do the attack that actually matters. I'm not sure if that will be fun or not. It's kind of hard to judge for now. But
I have the same worries that I have with Ease. Well, I already have problems with team games where you only take control of one character and the other characters just AI controlled run around. That shit already annoys me because I saw in the trailer where you I don't know, he controls Cloud and then against that boss, his other character keeps getting hit. And you can't prevent that. The AI is just not dodging. But your team loses health.
That's sort of in keeping with the turn-based system they had in the original, where people just take turns attacking. You take turns being able to defend.
Well, I mean...
but in a turn-based game, I can tell whatever the black guy's name is
Barrett.
to fucking block. Or to do some shit that is helpful.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean,
you probably can
in
here too.
Issa's defense, at least, like most of the time, your AI controlled characters wouldn't get hit.
In whose defense?
Is.
Oh.
No, the AI controlled characters do get hit. They just lazily design around that, where the characters you don't control, they barely take any damage.
Oh, is that how it works?
That's such a lazy cop out to me. I hate it that games keep having party systems and don't really focus on the party system or on the party controls.
See, I'm not like bothered by it because honestly, as long as I have fun controlling the character, like I'm not like really bothered by what the AI is doing as long as they're not getting in my way. So I think it's fine.
If to me, I kind of strafe towards perfect execution in a lot of things. Not really achieving it, but, trying my best to get there. And when I literally can't control every character and the AI just keeps getting hit and I have to heal them, I get pissed.
So, okay, let me ask you this. If you had a game with this party system, but you had the option of removing all the party members and you could just play through the game by yourself and the game allowed you to do that, would you just do that?
I would, number one. Number two, then they could actually focus on making one character way deeper than having multiple characters there. So hopefully, yes, that would happen.
I actually agree. Like, I think it's better just to have less characters that do more than to have a bunch of characters that start to blend in together. That was like my biggest problem with like
that's Ease.
That was my biggest problem with E7 and E Salsetta, where like all the characters kind of blended into each other. But anyways, going back to Final Fantasy VII Remake, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, I appreciate that they're not trying to just make it another straightforward Kingdom Hearts clone or whatever. They're trying to add some interesting ideas. Whether these ideas actually work or not is yet to be seen. But I'm going to pick it up day one because I do like Final Fantasy VII a lot, but we'll see. I think another... What's up?
Can I bring up another nitpick?
Okay.
I hated that the characters wouldn't shut up. That's such a AAA game thing to do, where you fight and they just keep talking inane bullshit. And then also, when they're fighting the boss, the characters keep telling you what you have to do. Like, oh, he's charging his laser. Better get behind the fucking barricade.
No, I'm calling you on this because that was in that was in the actual original game. I don't care. That was an homage to what was in the original game.
Oh, thanks for making the game worse as an homage to a problem that the original game had.
Okay, first off, I don't even agree with you with this bullshit. I actually like that they're interacting with each other because it gives them an opportunity to express themselves and show off their personalities. So I actually like
That's
hearing
what the story is for.
Well, I actually like hearing the characters banter. I like hearing characters talk bullshit because it gives me a chance to because look, if you have characters that can't even engage in small talk, they don't feel like real people to me. And that
Look, I agree that this would be a good opportunity to bring out banter, but nothing I heard was actually interesting banter. That's like the problem with Uncharted games where the characters can't shut the fuck up. And it's just one bad joke after the next, and it makes me hate the characters instead because they're annoying.
I mean, I'll grant you that nothing they were saying in this trailer in particular was it wasn't amazing dialogue.
Yeah,
but
I didn't
find it annoying either. They're just kind of bickering about how to fight the boss, and I thought that made sense.
Well, that's another problem where they just flat out just tell you what you need to do instead of letting you figure it out for yourself.
But this is the first boss of the game.
Yeah, okay. Let's just assume this will not happen for the rest of them.
This is the like in the game itself. This was the tutorial section, that first set piece, I guess you can call it, with the first reactor is like a tutorial. It's just explaining certain things about how the game works, and it's hand-holding you through it. So as long as they don't do that for the rest of the game, it should be fine.
Cloud, be careful. Sephiroth is about to swipe his sword.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's charging a laser. Better get out of the way.
Did they get George Newbern to voice Sephiroth again? I know he did it in the movie. Was that him in the trailer?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways.
I like his voice. He voices Superman.
And to balance out all the shit I'm giving Final Fantasy VII, this was the game where you can pause and go into some kind of tactical mode, right?
Yes.
That looked cool.
It did look cool. I like that time didn't literally stop. Everything just went really, really slow.
You know what they said, which really scares me? Final Fantasy VII, when it's completed, will have 2 Blu-ray discs worth of content. Do you guys know how big a Blu-ray disc can get?
50 gigabytes.
They can get 300 gigabytes.
What? I thought it could just be 50.
They can do multiple layered now, and then I don't know if if the PlayStation 4 can play like those multi-layered. But here's the problem I have with this. You can't download a 600 gigabyte game. And also, am I supposed to keep it on my console while I wait for the next episode to launch and just delete everything else? My PS4 was not designed to be a Final Fantasy VII remake machine.
Okay, I have to imagine that these are 2 50 gigabyte discs, not 300.
I hope so. We would hope so.
Because you also have to keep in mind that the entire game is going to take place in Midgar.
The first episode, yeah.
Yeah. So I
do we know that, or do we know that because they announced it, or do we know that because, well, obviously.
No,
it just makes so much sense.
No, they explicitly said that this first episode is Midgar exclusively.
Oh.
Which I'm actually going to touch on that in the video that I'm working on, where one of the things I actually really liked about Midgar is that a lot of Midgar is implied, and you don't have to literally explore every single facet, every little nook and cranny of Midgar to get a feel for the immensity of the location. And while I'm not necessarily saying that allowing you to explore Midgar in its totality is a bad thing, I was going to say betrayal. I think that's too harsh to say, but I do think it does somewhat betray the intent of the original, where you don't need to like I said, explore every little bit of Midgar to understand what Midgar is about. It's this bustling, downtrodden metropolis where you have people that are living in shit in slums, and you have other people that are living the life and all that jazz.
Yeah. The subway, the train has so many stops, implying there are more stops.
Yeah.
Oh, this sector fell down. We'll just build over it. Like a monolithic company. You know what I don't want to see in this new Final Fantasy VII remake is bloody environmental politics.
That's like the whole point of the game.
People got mad.
Well, anyways.
People want to get mad.
Anyways, so what about the Final Fantasy VIII remasters? How do you?
You told me a few months ago that I should, if I liked Final Fantasy VII, I should like Final Fantasy VIII.
No. I said you'd like 9.
Oh.
I said you would.
9,
not 8. 8 is the bad, weird one.
Then I have no opinion. Wait, they followed up Final Fantasy VII with a weird nothing game.
I mean,
it's not a weird nothing game, I'd say. It's still way too big, like all the Final Fantasy games.
8 is just fucking bizarre. Like, it has like time travel, and it has like it weirdly mixes like 1950s with like cyberpunk, and then like I don't know, it's just a weird game. It's very bizarre.
That doesn't sound stupid though. 1950s cyberpunk.
No, those two things don't really collide much. It's a weird game. Are either of you gonna play it?
Probably not.
No,
absolutely not.
I might get it on sale and never play it.
Are you gonna play Captain Autism 2? You remember when we made that joke last time?
Autismo.
And those cringy YouTubers talking about, oh my god, this is so emotional.
Oh god.
I pressed the button and now the cutscene played. Oh my god.
Press the emotion button to feel something.
They need to stop making these games. Just talk about a cool game like Marvel's Avengers.
Oh god. Fuck that shit so hard.
Oh yeah, you don't like superheroes.
Well, that's not true.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of true, but I like Infinity War.
You said you didn't like, what was it, Cape
shit?
Cape shit.
I actually rewatched Spider-Man Homecoming recently. That is a really fucking good movie.
It's really fun.
Logan is one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years. But those are all the weird small ones where the world isn't threatened to be blown up. Those are the ones I like.
Yeah.
And this dumbass Marvel game, once again, they didn't show any gameplay. There was like a 20-minute presentation, not a single bit of fucking gameplay. They introduced
Wasn't it
the
gameplay
characters.
when Iron Man was flying?
No, maybe we don't know. We don't know.
Maybe it's just.
It was all. It looked very choreographed. I mean, yeah, there were a lot of camera cuts. I don't think there was actual gameplay. And then they spent like 10 minutes introducing us to the Avengers. For what reason? What do I give a shit about the fucking voice actors? Why do they need to sit down and tell me about their roles?
Are you telling me Nolan North is not an American or Canadian treasure? I don't know where he's from.
He's fine.
He's really good.
He has range. I mean,
Troy Baker as the Hulk is really fucking weird to me. because Troy Baker to me seems like a guy who like, yeah, I'll do like your weird anime. I'll voice this character in Code Geass. He's really good as Sneasel in Code
Wait,
Geass.
he's
by
in
the way.
Code Geass?
He plays Sneasel. I think he's really good there.
I do know that he
but then
plays the main character in Tales of Vesperia. He's actually really great as that character.
He's a good voice actor, but I imagine he's like a smart guy too, where he goes, "I'll do this, yeah, I'll do Last of Us, and I'll get paid $200,000, and I'll scatter it across the market, and I'll just live off dividends." But now he's playing the Hulk, which makes me think he may be not that super rich.
I mean, I'm sure he's pretty well off, but maybe, even like a big voice actor like him's got to pay the bills.
That's true. Do you remember when he quit Twitter and then came back like a month later or something?
I did not know that.
Me neither. What was Outriders? Oh yeah, the studio behind Bulletstorm. Also no gameplay, so get the fuck out.
You know what annoyed me? Wait, we didn't talk about Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which had a trailer.
That was Nintendo.
Squeenix.
No, that was Nintendo.
Okay. We'll get to that then.
Because
what
it came to
annoys
Switch?
Yeah, it's coming
I feel
to
like
Switch.
that game had been out for a while.
No, it's not out yet.
No?
Okay.
People have been
Ultimate
clamoring for
Alliance?
that game. Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
Oh, whatever. Cape shit. Am I right?
No, you're wrong. But Marvel's Avengers, what annoyed me with this is that, are you seriously going to go back to the vanilla Avengers crew? Like, do we...
Yeah.
Like, this is... the Avengers, the point of the Avengers was never that, oh, it's Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk and Thor and Black Widow. The idea behind them was always, these are just whoever's left. The Justice League has sort of a fixed roster. The Avengers is just, who do we have? And this was an opportunity to go, nah, let's do something different. Let's do Miles Morales, and let's do this here character. Let's put Moon Knight in the Avengers. Why not? Why not do something different? Let's have Beta Ray Bill show up.
Maybe they can do it now because the Avengers are over. Because those are clearly not the actual actors. Tony Stark doesn't look like what is his name?
Robert Downey
Jr. Yeah.
I just gotta say, Miles Morales was fucking awesome in Spider-Verse. That movie's great.
He's awesome all around. There's a great Ultimate Spider-Man run. I think it was by Brian Michael Bendis, where they introduced him. I think it was I don't remember how long it was, but he's always been great. People hated him initially because they didn't like the idea of the Spider-Man mantle being passed away from Peter Parker, but they did a real good job of setting Miles Morales up as like his own character.
See, I understand that unwillingness to let go of Peter Parker's character, but I think moving on to Miles Morales speaks to the spirit of Spider-Man in that it isn't really like Spider-Man is all of us. That's supposed to be, I think, the core tenet of who Spider-Man is. It's basically Peter Parker is the everyman. He represents, everyone, and anyone can be Spider-Man.
Have you read the old 60s Spider-Man illustrated by Steve Ditko?
I have not.
I watched a documentary about it, and it was really funny. Steve Ditko was like a real objectivist, like an Ayn Randian.
Yeah.
And he would bleed that into his work more as he got older. And Steve Ditko is a lot like Jack Kirby in that he's a really good creator, but you need that Stan Lee shine to just that extra little bit of magic from Stan Lee. Stan Lee would always write the dialogue, and there was a panel from like 63 or whenever the earlier Spider-Man was, where Spider-Man is like zipping through New York and he sees a group of protesters and he's like, oh, they're protesting big business. And the protesters are like, Spider-Man, come, you have to stand with us. And Spider-Man went like, yes, I'm also in favor of good environmentalism. And then he stripped away. And I imagine that Steve Ditko's original paneling was like, hey, Spider-Man, you should come with us. And he was like, no, you fucking hippies. Read Atlas Shrugged, you losers. And then he stripped away.
Read Atlas Shrugged.
I listened to the audiobook version. It's like a 50, 60 hour book. I got 10 hours in, and I just couldn't. It was like, these people are just building a fucking train, and then they can't build the train. Oh my god, they managed to build the train tracks. Oh my god, it's just, my god.
I got enough of Ayn Rand just by playing fucking BioShock. And I was like, that's enough of this ideology. I don't need to deal with any more of this bullshit.
Daniel, please, you cannot alienate the objectivists in our audience.
Ask me if I give a shit.
Send your hate mail to Daniel.
Go ahead. Come at me, bro.
Daniel at essaysanespressopodcast.com.
But exclude me, because I tried to get everyone to get along. I was outvoted, guys.
All right, is there anything else at Square?
Yes, there was one more game that I'm assuming you guys didn't even pay attention to.
What would that be?
Dragon Quest Builders 2.
No, it was called Final Fantasy War of the Visions Brave Exvius.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm assuming not.
No,
I remember it. I just don't give a fuck. Like, what? It's just a mobile game.
Yes, that's the problem. That fucking trailer made it look really exciting to me. Because it was like, oh, there's all these factions, and there's the barbarians, and there's the kingdom of the lion, and the kingdom of the bull, and they're all, in this 5-way battlefield, and that was like, those characters look cool. That sounds like a cool fucking conflict where there's going to be a lot of politics and war and what I love. And then at the end, it's like, oh, it's for mobile. Thank you. And then I looked it up. Isn't that the game?
What? Isn't that the game that had like the great trailer, like a good trailer, and then here's the gameplay, and it's like, oh god damn it, it's a mobile game.
Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics with no flair whatsoever. And then I looked it up because I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to be one of those bad mobile games. And then I looked up the pay scheme on some wiki, and it was, nope, it's a bad mobile game.
I swear to God, we will never get another Final Fantasy Tactics. The original one, not the Advanced series. I never really played the Advanced games much, but what I did play, I wasn't a fan. But I loved the original one on PS1. We will never get a game like that.
People love that game.
Wasn't there just some kind of Final Fantasy Tactics clone coming out a few months ago?
Really? Was there?
Yeah, on Switch.
I don't know. But that game was so fucking good.
What's the gimmick behind that game? Why do people love that game so much?
There is no gimmick.
Like what is it? No, I mean what's it about? Like what are you doing? Is it just a Final Fantasy game?
It's a tactics game.
No, it's way more politically driven. It's about these like warring nations, and the idea is that there seems to be a perceived notion of what happened, but you're seeing what actually happened. So everyone thinks, oh, Delita came in and he just like saved everything, and that's all there was to it, when in actuality it was much more complicated, and it was actually your character who's basically like lost within the panels of history, showing you what the actual events of the war. And it's really cool.
That to me sounds a lot like Code Geass, I'm not gonna lie.
Why are you bringing Code Geass into this?
Thankfully, I didn't listen to Daniel's description, so I'm not even mad.
You're gonna see how this guy, Zero, came and saved everyone, but you get to see what actually happened underneath, guys.
Whatever. We're not talking about Code Geass until we actually get into Code Geass. That's going to be another episode.
For the record, that's 1 point in my favor.
No,
moving into that episode when we record it.
There's no points in your favor. That's bullshit. It's a great game. It's really good. Don't sully its name with Code Geass.
We also forgot with Square Enix to talk about Dying Light 2. I don't know if you know this, but Chris Avalon, he's a friend of mine. He's actually writing the game.
You fuck. Yeah, and the trailer
I'll
looked
keep doing
so
this
boring
until
because
he
it was
shows
just,
up.
They didn't focus on the writing at all.
No.
I heard talks from Giant Bomb people who actually got to play the game and got to make some really cool decisions, and that sounded great, and they didn't show any of that in the trailer. It was just the basic Dying Light gameplay again. I don't know if he got some new parkour moves or whatever, but I don't give a fuck. That's not what I'm playing Dying Light for. Dying Light 2 for.
I saw a website where you can like slide day and night filters, and you can see like, oh my god, the room looks different at night.
That's so crazy.
All right, guys.
It's so insane.
Let's move on. We have one final conference, the Nintendo conference. There was actually a bunch of stuff announced, well, or at least shown. And one thing that I was kind of happy about, but also kind of like disappointed, was that Banjo and Kazooie are going to be in Smash, which leaves me feeling bittersweet because, like, on one hand, I love Banjo. It's cool that he's in Smash, but I just want a Banjo 3. That's all I really want. Like, it's like, okay, cool, he's in Smash. I dig that, but a new Banjo game made by Nintendo, like not even Rare, because I don't trust Rare anymore.
They're all gone.
Yooka-Laylee didn't do it for you?
No. And I backed that game.
Oh my
I
God.
backed that game. And I was so disappointed.
Oh my god. And you want those guys, you don't even want them to do.
No.
You want Nintendo to do
I want
it.
Nintendo to do it. I trust Nintendo.
Let me ask you a question though. What has Nintendo done in the last 20 years? Now, in the last 15
What?
years.
Oh, too much. Just look
What
at
do you
the
mean?
Mario.
Oh my god.
Just look at the Mario Galaxy games. Just look at freaking.
They both suck.
What?
I don't think anyone would agree with you on that.
They did Mario Galaxy, Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay, they made one game.
Freaking Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U is.
If it's anything like the 3D lands or 3D worlds on the 3DS, then it's terrible.
I think they're specifically not like that.
No, I never played the 3DS ones, but the one on the Wii U is fantastic. Look up Matthew Matos's video on it. He does a.
They did Pokemon.
Oh my god, more Pokemon shit. Oh my god, it's more Pokemon. It's more Pokemon. Oh my god, it's new. It's different. It's Pokemon again. Fuck Pokemon.
Pokemon is Game Freak.
Also, that's Game Freak, Pokken.
But that's still Nintendo. Oh, so you mean Nintendo developed?
What has Nintendo, the company, done in the last 15 years? Like Satoru Iwata, people love him. Let's really look at his legacy, guys. Let's really talk about this. The Wii, oh, it made a lot of money. There was not a single good game on that console. People love the Mario Galaxies.
Mario Galaxy is fantastic. What are you talking about?
I dislike both of those games. Let's say I don't. Let's say there were 2 good games on that entire platform. And people might disagree. Oh, well, actually there was a lot of good games. If that's the case, if the Wii was so good, how come the Wii U flopped so terribly? How come the Wii U flopped so terribly that they actually had to wake up their development teams to do good games again?
Well, I think the reason why the Wii U did terribly is because, one, it was marketed in a very confusing way. People didn't even know what it was. People thought that the tablet was the Wii U. Most people didn't even realize that it was a console. So, the problem with the Wii U, I think, was primarily from a marketing standpoint.
I think it has to do with the fact that the Wii has no cultural impact. Not a single game there changed anything. Nothing about it.
That's very...
Yeah, but we're gonna have this conversation. I've kept my mouth shut on Nintendo for many years.
Oh, something's been brewing there.
Hey man, I'm not even gonna disagree. The Wii is not a good console. It has some good games, but overall, it's pretty weak. I'll agree with you there.
the Wii was like, it ushered in 7 years of Nintendo sitting on their asses, resting on their laurels, doing absolutely nothing. And meanwhile, you have Sony. They're like, hey, let's do Demon's Souls. Let's do Uncharted and Infamous and The Last of Us. Let's test all of these, quality of those games notwithstanding. Let's test these new things and let's experiment and let's do something new. Meanwhile, you have Nintendo there raking in the money, doing absolutely nothing.
I mean, you're
producing
right, yeah.
nothing.
I don't think people agree with that.
And then Wii U, that console comes out, flops, and Nintendo decides, oh, god damn it, we can't rest on our laurels. Guess we have to make good games again.
I think that's a gross oversimplification.
So you're admitting they're making good games now?
It probably is. It's probably way too simplistic.
Look, I have a list here of the games they brought out in the past 15 years. Let's say. So I'm guessing you're not counting the GameCube.
No. I think that the GameCube. I think the GameCube is its own thing.
Okay.
Well, the GameCube was a good console.
All right, let's go over this.
I'll
review. Twilight Princess.
I'm not counting Skyward Sword because it's shit. I didn't like Twilight Princess either much, but whatever.
I think Twilight Princess is a gross downgrade from Majora's Mask.
They did Pikmin.
They're not even similar.
Pikmin.
Yeah, but it's a Zelda game. I don't think you get to do a shit sequel to a great game. Pikmin, I never played it. It's probably terrible.
Twilight Princess isn't shit. To me, Twilight Princess is like, let's do.
No, it's not shit. It's a step down, I should say.
I think Twilight Princess is safe, right?
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
It's just, let's do Ocarina of Time again, but bigger. And I think that's fine. And I think that's fine. It's a solid game. It's just not especially remarkable.
Shintai reviews with the Nintendo shilling. What's the next game, Bogan?
What? I am not a Nintendo fanboy by any stretch of the imagination.
They did Pikmin 1 and 2. These are all Wii games now.
I never played them. They looked boring.
You should watch Lamhoot's videos on Pikmin.
Okay, New Super Mario Bros. Wii was fucking trash. WarioWare. So the WarioWare series is still going.
I hate Wario. I know how I feel about Pikmin not having played them, and I don't need anyone telling me that I'm wrong. I've already decided.
No. I'm not saying to watch the videos to change your mind on them. I just think if you watch them, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get the appeal of them. And I think he's just a really great YouTuber. You should check him out, Lamhoot. Good stuff.
Okay, next one. They did Splatoon.
Yes,
I haven't played Splatoon because it looks like a weird, boring game.
I like Splatoon. It's fun.
If these keep...
But also...
If this is your commenting on this, then we can stop right now.
Yeah, but that's a Wii U game, I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the past 15 years, is it not?
Okay, guys, stop.
Do you want to convince me that the fucking Wii is a shit console? I'm with you.
Okay, we were just supposed to talk about the Nintendo conference, not have this pedantic, granular discussion about Nintendo's entire history. It's just focus, motherfuckers, focus.
But it's an interesting question. What has Nintendo actually developed in terms of games? And they did some good shit. They didn't do just as much as their name might suggest. I mean,
yeah, obviously, when I say the last 15 years have been garbage, that's a gross oversimplification. Obviously, that's not true. But I do think people
they don't develop much.
Way too much slack.
But they did Splatoon. They did Tropical Freeze. They did Mario Galaxy.
That was Retro Studios.
Breath of the Wild. Did they? Okay.
That was Retro.
Oh.
We need to let's go back to the E3 conversation.
Yes.
But for the record, that's another point in my favor for the Code Geass
video. You get no points. You get no points. Okay, we're gonna start talking.
What about Animal Crossing?
Oh my god. Let's talk about the actual conference.
A Link Between Worlds.
Boken.
We're gonna talk about E3.
Stop, Boken.
Stop this, Boken.
Bad Boken. Go in your corner.
Also, Link Between Worlds was terrible. No.
Wait, no. Link Between Worlds is fantastic. You get the fuck
I haven't
out
played
of
it. I haven't played it. I haven't played it.
So easy to trigger everyone.
Dude, no, being legit, like, for a while, A Link to the Past was my favorite Zelda. Link Between Worlds is better.
Really?
It is.
I'll play it then.
It is.
But you know what?
What about Mario Maker?
We're gonna trigger more people here. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on Switch looks like garbage.
It does. Okay, yeah. They announced the Switch version, and it looks bad. And you can't really blame them because it's like that was a game that was optimized for PC, so obviously it's not going to look good on the Switch. And it's admirable. It's super admirable for them to try and put that enormous game with the DLC included on that tiny little cart. But you got to call a spade a spade. And this is an ugly spade. I mean, kudos to the people that want to play it on their Switch. They really want to play Witcher 3 on the go. More power to you. I can't do that.
This looks just no.
Like, and it's not even like a graphics thing. It's just performance-wise. It looks like it's gonna run poorly. But anyways, I want to talk about Astro Chain because that game looks awesome.
That is the best game of E3.
It looks absolutely amazing. It's freaking. I'm gonna break it down for you. This is Police JoJo. You are playing as a police officer with a stand. That is the coolest shit I've seen in a minute. It looks so good with Bayonetta style gameplay. Just inject that into my veins.
It has
Give it to me.
Wonderful art style, and it had like oh look, there's a gameplay trailer. I can understand what the game is about, and now I'm excited. Who would have thought? But then the gameplay trailer also showed a bunch of cool mechanics, like binding your chain around certain parts of the monster, and hacking that off or whatever that's gonna do. You know, I can see gameplay depth in there, and that's why I'm excited about it. On top of it, also looking good.
It's fresh. It's unique. It's interesting. It looks good. It looks like the performance is good. Like everything is cool as shit.
Yeah, I must have missed this game when I must have gone to, like, taking the leak when they announced it or something.
Well, it was announced, I think, in the previous E3. It's just that this time they're like, oh, we have a date. It's going to come out August 30th, which is a day before my birthday.
It's a platinum game.
I think last time they didn't show gameplay. They just showed like a tonal trailer.
Yeah, I think there was some in-engine stuff, but no gameplay.
Is Hideki Kamiya attached to it?
I don't think so. I think he might be working on Bayonetta 3.
Ooh.
And they showed...
Oh, wait a minute. It is directed by Takahisha Tora, who previously was the lead game designer for Nier Automata, under supervision by Bayonetta series creator Hideki Kamiya.
Mm-hmm.
But that might just mean they had a talk in an elevator once, and they just want Hideki Kamiya's name on it.
Also, the actual gameplay of Nier Automata isn't that good.
I haven't played it.
You should. It's very good. It's excellent.
I've heard it's good, which is why I didn't play it.
Okay,
I see.
Okay, Trash Man.
They showed like 5 seconds of a new Pokemon character, which is now the most blessed thing ever because there's like 5,000 pawn pics of her already. So thank you very much.
Are you talking about the one with the ponytail?
No, I'm talking about the black girl.
Oh, her, yeah.
The water gym leader.
Nessa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also unveiled this other girl who has like red hair and a ponytail.
That was the Nintendo Direct, though.
Was
the
it?
Pokemon Direct, yeah.
Okay.
The one who has like the heart in her hair.
Yeah, I'm probably getting them mixed up.
I keep saying this, and every time I say this, people laugh at me less and less because it keeps being more and more real. These companies are going to design the characters to fit the pornographic markets as a free advertisement. I'm not like this. These companies. Why wouldn't Nintendo just get some guy to make a bunch of porn based on their properties? That's as good an advertisement as anything else.
Because people are already doing that on their own.
Yeah, and now they just think, oh, we'll just create a character, make her like, give her skimpier miniskirt, make her a little more bounce, put a little more bounce in her steps, And then people will make more porn of her, and that will advertise her more. People laugh less and less every time I say this.
I think the pornographic industry doesn't need any fitting to. I think the pornographic industry just takes whatever.
They can make anything loot.
And poker girls have
They
been
can make anything fit.
kind of top tier for a decade now.
Pokemon is such a weird fandom. Like
I initially was somewhat like, oh, I guess maybe I'll check out Pokemon Sword. But the more I look at it, I'm like, I really don't care.
You guys need to get into Nuzlocking.
I really do not want to.
But you should. It's fun. It's a new, it's really a new kind of gameplay experience.
get into what?
Nuzlocking. So basically, it's playing through Pokemon with like really harsh limitations. I think the main thrust is that you can only have 6 Pokemon at a time, so you can't create like
what? But that's normal.
No, I mean like you can't capture more than what you have.
No, that's not true.
Okay, that was based on one Nuzlocke that I found.
No. The rule is you only get to catch 1 Pokemon per route. So when you go on a new route, the first Pokemon you meet, that's what you can catch. If you don't catch it, you're fucked. So it's random what kind of Pokemon you actually get, and you have to build your team from there. And then the most important rule is when your Pokemon faints, it's dead, and you can't use it anymore.
Huh.
So you have permadeath. And that is incredibly fun, because you are limited in what kind of Pokemon you actually get to use. You start really building a relationship to the Pokemon you get to use, and you have to just make do with what you have. And
so you're essentially making your own fun, because the game on its own is not that fun.
Yes, that's true. Pokemon itself is too easy. It has always been.
Yeah, which I mean,
and they are too afraid to change the formula where, hey, maybe trainers don't need themed Pokemon. Maybe these Pokemon could be stronger. Maybe the XP share was a mistake. But they don't change. They're not going to change that.
I mean, in fairness, Pokemon has always been for children, and they don't want to like scare the kids. So
yeah, the fucking kids can take a hit.
But the thing is,
what games did we grow up with?
Games that I grew up with like GoldenEye and
on like on the Super Nintendo.
On the Super
Shit
Nintendo,
was hard.
Like Donkey Kong Country, Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Super Mario World, the All Stars pack.
You guys are probably a bit older than me. I grew up with like the PlayStation 1.
Well, PlayStation 1 was also a big part of my childhood.
Oh.
Yeah, man, I played Final Fantasy 9 to death.
Anyway, the point is that fine, make your little baby game for kids, but maybe give me a hard mode.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna say like Pokemon should have like a veterans mode with more strict rules.
Do kids even play Pokemon? Aren't they just playing Fortnite and Minecraft these days?
Pokemon sells like crazy.
I mean, my nephew likes Pokemon.
The last Pokemon game sold like 14 million copies or something.
Jesus Christ! I don't think Nintendo deserves the accolades or successes they've had. But
I mean, whatever. Pokemon
that's a
is
conversation.
That's my thing.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
That's like my Pokemon is your Yu-Gi-Oh, I think.
And people are upset at like people were mad at Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty for daring yearly releases. Pokemon has been doing that shit forever.
No, they haven't.
No, they don't do yearly releases.
No, but they do these barely iterative sequels every now and then. This is me, a guy who doesn't know anything about Pokemon.
Just ranting. I'm sure that's true.
I feel like if you were to play Pokemon Blue and then you picked up like, I don't know, what's the latest one? Pokemon Black or whatever?
Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Oh yeah, Sun and Moon. I feel like if you played that and then you played Sun and Moon, you'd see like, okay, yeah, there's clearly been evolution.
I played 30 minutes
Well,
of
no, there
Pokemon
hasn't been that
Yellow.
much evolution, honestly.
Since Blue?
Oh, since Blue. I thought since Black. Well,
No,
yeah.
no, I was saying since Blue. Like, I'm just trying to get across, like, maybe you don't feel huge differences if you play each game after one another, but there's clearly been evolution if you start from the beginning and then you look at the latest one and be like, okay, yeah, there has been a lot of change over the years.
But they are fairly iterative. For example, the starter pack of like grass, water, and fire is still there. That's something that's still there to this day. The games still teach you how to fucking catch Pokemon in the beginning. You're forced through the tutorial every time.
Well, you know what? I was a cool kid and I had Pokemon Yellow, so I had Pikachu.
Yeah, I own that game too. I played it for 30
I
minutes.
hack my
You said it.
Pokemon games on PC, and then I do a randomizer, and then I can get a random starter Pokemon. And then I can start
Oh my
with the
God.
Snorlax.
You are
You're
such a nerd.
You're such a nerd. Like,
I like that we thought we were on the perfect wavelength there. Very, very,
who's dissing-
very rare for
who's
me and
dissing our
Acer.
game? We need to move beyond this Pokemon.
Yes,
talk,
we
my
do.
friend.
Wait, one more.
absolutely
Let me
do.
defend Pokemon more.
Oh God, no.
Omega Ruby
no.
and Alpha Sapphire came out in 2014. Sun and Moon came out in 2017. This one's coming out 2019.
Oh my
I
God, you
think
defended
that's
it so
fine.
well. What's the next? What are we gonna talk about?
Okay, next, we're,
I didn't
Let's
know.
talk about the Contra
Fuck-
games
fuck-
that looked terrible.
yo, fuck off. No More Heroes 3 is announced. I'm happy about that.
I haven't played those games.
They're
neither.
good. You should play the first one because it's a really unique, interesting game that is really wacky and zany and over the top, but like it has this heart to it behind all of like the zaniness, and it's also like this weird like commentary on games. Like it's really interesting. I think you'd like it, Acer.
Okay.
The-
Based on what?
So why wouldn't I like it?
I didn't know if you'd played it.
I like No, I said I didn't.
Oh, okay. No.
But I'm all about meta commentary on shit.
Yeah, give it a shot. Like I said,
No.
a lot of it is a lot of it's kind of like poking at the absurdity of video games.
Poor Daniel having to do this podcast with us.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm a trooper.
Did you piss off some gypsy in your last life as he cursed you?
I mean,
No, you're
maybe
stuck with us.
anything's possible.
Okay, sorry, continue about No More Heroes 3.
Yeah, it's very tongue in cheek and doesn't take itself seriously at all, and it kind of wears its references on its sleeve. Like the main character is literally just using a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And there are multiple like Star Wars references. The sequel isn't as memorable. It's more polished than the first one. I think the gameplay is technically like better, but when I look back on No More Heroes 1 and 2, like 2 wasn't directed by Suda51 and it shows. So when I look back on like the first one and the second one, the first one sticks out in my mind more. It's like this it's much more creative, and the second one had some neat stuff here and there, but overall it just kind of blurs together. But I would really say that the first game in particular is easily one of the best games on the Wii, and it's definitely worth checking out.
I still need to play Killer 7. That's supposedly the holy grail of Suda51 games.
Yeah, I need to play that too. I have the Steam version. I also want to play the Silver Case because apparently that's also like in the echelon of Suda51 excellence. Okay, so aside from No More Heroes 3, what else? They announced
Did you notice? No, we're not. We're going to talk about that last.
Okay.
They're doing Resident Evil 5 and 6
Who
in a
cares?
single package.
Who cares?
Yeah, see, I care because Resident Evil 4 launched as a standalone on the Switch.
You're right. You're right.
Resident Evil 4 is a good game.
Yeah, 6 is not. 5 is
Oh,
okay.
that's what you mean. Okay. Now I get the implication.
Yeah.
I think 5 is okay with a friend, not anything more than that.
Did you guys care about the Fire Emblem trailer?
I
No.
care somewhat. I do have the game pre-ordered. I do want to play it, because I really like the gameplay of Fire Emblem, but the writing has.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Fire Emblem used to be actually legitimately well written. Fire Emblem used to be like revered because of the stories were actually like very well constructed. But then something.
And then Awakening ruined it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that's the
Because-
waifu game.
Awakening was the waifu game, and it brought in the degenerates. And ever since then, the series has like kind of devolved into just like, look, I could create my character, and then I can make them fuck the girl that I like or the boy that I like. And on one hand, you can't even like blame them because it's a genius tactic, right? Like, hey, here's a character that represents you, and here's a mechanic where you can fuck anyone you want. Yes, go nuts.
It's almost as if pornography is good for marketing or something.
And here's the thing, though. You not only can you make your own character that you created, fuck anyone you want, but you can also make everyone fuck each other as well.
What?
So
That's getting
it's like
weird.
this. It's this shipping extravaganza. That's what I meant by like they brought in the degenerates, right? Because degenerates love that crap. Now
What? Why can you make other people have sex?
Because I think children are part of the gameplay, where you can mix characters and create their children, and then those are new soldiers.
So yeah, Awakening specifically had this mechanic where if two characters got married, then they would have a child, and then that child, through like a time warp thing or whatever, could then join the army.
Oh my god. We need what's his name? We need to
And then the children could then also get married as well, but then they don't have children.
Jesus. We need Jack Thompson back to put the boot to the heel of these crazy video games.
So I don't know if the new Fire Emblem game is going to have all those shenanigans. I do like that it has these 3 factions. That sounds interesting. But
that was the same thing with Final Fantasy Xvios or whatever, where I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, okay, this sounds like politics. You have 3 factions and they have to fight each other and they don't really want to, and that's cool. Give me politics, give me a lot of characters. And then in the trailer, they start with that dumbass power of friendship bullshit. I was like, no, we have to stand together to overcome our differences.
See, old Fire Emblem never had that. There was none of that crap. Actually, in Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, like that game had like this really interesting arc for the main character where he initially saw everything as just like really black and white. He's just like, oh, humans are good, I'm on the right side. And then as the game kind of progresses, he realized like, man, I've been kind of bigoted, and my views of the world were just really narrow-minded. And by experiencing the world, he grows as a person. And it's actually it's not anything phenomenal, but it was just really solid, like really good character writing, where you see this natural progression for the main character, and he develops these like great bonds with the mercenaries, and he grows to become a leader, because originally he was just a greenhorn, and then he was just kind of thrust into the role of becoming the leader of the mercenaries, and he didn't know how to handle it, and things are just really bad at first, but then eventually he learns to naturally become what his father used to be, and it's all just really tightly written. None of this power of friendship nonsense, none of that. It was just really solid character writing and interesting politics.
And then anime happened.
See, that's another thing. Like, the art style in the older games was not overtly anime. Like, it was classier than that. Like, it's still anime, but it wasn't like boob armor. You know?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It's a shame.
Do you guys care about Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games?
No,
I really, really don't.
I don't.
No.
I do care about Link's Awakening, though. That's a
Oh
cute
yeah,
look.
that looks fucking cute.
Oh man, I love the art style. It looks fantastic.
Yep.
It literally looks like you're playing with toys.
That's happening relatively soon, isn't it?
What?
That's coming out relatively soon, I want to say.
This year.
Not in the next
August.
2 months or something?
It's third quarter of this year, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so a couple months. That game looks fantastic.
I played that shit.
It's such a weird game for them to want to remake, but like, it's cool.
Okay,
I'm wondering...
actually, since we're talking about age, did you guys play that?
No.
I played some of it. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up with it, but I did play
Oh
some
my
of it.
god, am I really that old? That is depressing.
Wait, what?
Am I really that old that I'm the only one on this podcast who actually played that game back when it came out?
You're the only one who's big enough of a nerd.
No, I mean,
Got him.
I was old enough to have played it when it came out.
Okay, but
I
you just didn't.
I just didn't because of whatever. Like, it just didn't happen.
Well, okay, no, then that's another thing. I worry.
I'm probably old enough that I could have played it. Well, that was a Game Boy game, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, original Game Boy.
That was one of the first Game Boy games I had, and I played that so much. I must have played through that like 10 times or something.
Actually, I'm curious. When did that game come out? It came out in 1998. Yeah, I was 9 years old. Oh no, wait, that's the
98?
game...
No way.
No, wait, that's the Game Boy Color.
No, it
version.
came out in 93.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was the
sounds
Game Boy
more like
Color
it.
version. Yeah, it came out in 93. I was like 4 years old then at the time. So I was technically still old enough because like I started playing games when I was 3.
So, who won E3?
Probably Nintendo.
No, wait. What? We didn't even talk about the Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah.
Marvel
Whatever,
Ultimate
they didn't
Alliance
show
3.
anything.
Yeah, they didn't.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, though.
I don't
Who
really
gives a
care about
fuck?
that. I don't care about that game.
The guy who voices Magneto also voiced him in Wolverine and the X-Men, which is a very underrated cartoon series from 2008 or 2009. I have mad respect for them for bringing him back. And that's all I have to say about that game.
Okay, so who won E3?
Probably Nintendo.
The meme says Sony won because they didn't show up. I don't think that's good enough. I don't know, man. Let's scroll up.
The only other one for me would maybe Square Enix, but even then, that's kind of like, I think for me, it's probably Nintendo. Nintendo won.
I think the listeners of the Essays and Espresso podcast won.
Oh, the real owners.
Talk about it. Otherwise, it's probably Nintendo. Like, they're the only ones who announced something that, yeah, I'll buy some of their stuff. Like, I'll play Final Fantasy VII Remake, maybe.
That's not Nintendo.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm scrolling up. I'll probably get to Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, my friend Chris Avalon is making.
I mean, I'll play.
I want to see.
I'll play a bunch of those games. I'll play Fallen Order. I'll play Dying Light 2.
I might get to Psychonauts 2 or Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, because apparently they're revamping the Lego Star Wars games. It's going to be like an open world or something. I don't know. Like, but all those games, those and Elden Ring even, those aren't Xbox games.
Yeah.
So I can't really give it to Xbox.
And also, I can't just give it to Xbox because Elden Ring, no gameplay. Gears, no gameplay. That last 30-minute chunk was so fucking boring because it was about franchise I don't give a fuck. and not showing gameplay that might make me give a fuck. That's an issue.
I have a more interesting question. What was the game that you felt was the one that made you the most excited? Like, what would you say was your game of E3?
Astral Chain.
Yeah.
But nothing else came close, I think.
I want to say Tales of Arise, but I didn't see any actual gameplay.
Did you get a rise out of it?
Yes, I did. But I'm going to have to agree with you. It probably is Astro Change because we actually got gameplay for it. So there's something tangible for me to, like, to latch onto.
I don't have one. I guess I'll go with Astral Chain because I like those sorts of games, I guess.
Astro Chain 1 E3!
Did you even... I thought you didn't even see it.
I didn't even watch the trailer.
You didn't even watch it? You motherfucker.
Astral Chain 1 E3. You heard it here, folks.
Who was that? Was that Square Enix?
That's a Nintendo.
No, it was Nintendo.
No, that's Nintendo. That
was Nintendo Switch
Platinum.
exclusive. So, that's it, everyone. This has been Essays and Espresso. Boken, plug your shit. Where can we find you?
You can find me on www.youtube.com/c/bokenjima. I just released a video.
Yes, Space Marine one, right?
No.
Gorogoa. That's right. I helped with that one.
Oh god, you know what's the real problem? We just mentioned my video after Space Marine, and the episode where actually Space Marine came out will be coming after this one.
That's good.
Well, whatever. Acer, plug your shit.
You can find me on my YouTube channel.
His YouTube channel is /dumdumgames. I just want to mention that.
It's a sneaky one.
What?
I used to do shitty Let's Play commentaries. People don't know this.
Yes.
I've privated all of them, and I'll never show them again.
Acer, you also released something recently.
Yeah, I did the Coder 2 video.
Yes, you did.
Yes. And I'm done with Star Wars forever.
I didn't watch the whole thing because I'm still working my way through the game. But
yeah.
I saw some of it right up until you were going to reveal how the main character actually lost her force powers, and then I stopped. I was just like, no, I haven't found out yet. So
yeah, I can't watch that because I don't want to be spoiled. I'm sorry,
guys. If we're gonna get Chris Avalon on the podcast, you're gonna need to have played it.
Yeah,
watch my video on it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on
working on Code Geass first.
I need to work on that as well.
You can do both. You can watch Code Geass while you play Code 2. Why do one thing when you can do two things not as well?
No, I refuse. Anyways, if you want to find me, it's Shintai Reviews. Even though I've tried to change my brand name to Daniel Santos. If you try to look up Daniel Santos, you won't find me. So
you'll find a lot of like Cuban folk singers.
Yes. So just look up Shintai Reviews, I guess. I'm currently working on a video called The Art of Conceptual Scope. Hopefully by the time this episode is up, that video will be up as well. And yeah, this has been Essays and Espresso with an E3 extravaganza. Take care.
2019.
2019.
We'll do another one next year, maybe.
Probably. Take care, everyone.